Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Phoenix International Raceway here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona for the iRacing.com Northwest Tour Throwback Night. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Rentz alongside Carlos Acosta here at Phoenix International Raceway. And Carlos, it's a special night for us. It's Throwback Night here at Phoenix Raceway. This is one race that the drivers have had circled on their calendar for quite some time.
Yeah, that's true, and apologies, it seems like as soon as we went live, iRacing decided to crash. Looks like you're not the only one that's experiencing issues with crashing iRacing, but yeah, 200 laps at Phoenix. It's going to be a fun one for sure, considering how the challenge that these drivers are going to have. Special, unique rules there, Greg. I don't know if you want to quickly talk about them.
Yeah, we've extended the race for this evening to 150, or from 150 to 200 laps, and yeah, I believe my session just crashed again as well. So, it's a problem with iRacing's internal server, not a problem with one of our computers like we were worried about before it went on. But anyway, we will be working on getting it back to you as soon as we can. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but tonight's race, it has been extended from 150 laps to 200 laps, and with that we have special rules tonight. The first 150 laps, open pit road. Usually in the iRacing.com Northwest Tour, it is closed pit road, no tires, no fuel, nothing. But for tonight, with it being a special occasion, for the first 150 laps, a normal scheduled distance, it will be 150 laps open pit road. You can pit whenever you want. However, as soon as we hit 150, pit road closes, and that is what you've got for the final charge. So some strategy going to come into play here tonight, Carlos.
Yeah, definitely unique for sure. Is we were hearing from the owners and a couple of the officials about a couple of unique strategies they had for tonight. Pitting early, pitting late. One thing we were told for sure is to expect some new faces up in the front, especially with these pit cycles that we're going to be going, which is, Greg, it's very unique for the Northwest Tour to actually have fuel strategy and pit strategy and stuff like that, just because usually you guys are running races that are long enough where they don't actually have to come and take fuel, and well, these guys rarely ever take new tires.
And what that's going to lead to is a very different race than what we're used to here in the iRacing.com Northwest Tour, Carlos, because like you mentioned, this is different than what we're used to. Like we said in the pre-race, 150 laps straight, that usually means no pitting, no nothing. And we've actually seen a few drivers get penalized over the year this season for taking tires and fuel, but it's different tonight with the special one being the extra 50 laps, and tonight being Northwest Tour night. You will notice most of the drivers are running special one-off paint schemes to pay tribute to some of the legends of here in the Northwest. And it's always one of the most fun races of the year when we get to do this, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and well, we finally have an image once again. So why don't we go ahead and quickly go through the grid, Greg? I don't know if you have that information. I'm currently seeing in the poll 69 of Dylan Huffines, which Josh Robinson is second. Third place will be Devin Petty, Shane Quinn in fourth, Matt Hackathorn will be starting fifth, Brad Carpenter in sixth, BJ Titrick in seventh, Scott Mann in eighth, and Travis McKinney in ninth, and yeah, Isaiah Gill in 10th. Greg, are you able to actually pull up iRacing?
No, my session crashed once again, so unfortunately I will not have the leaderboard with me tonight because this is the third time it's happened.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Greg and for us. But in 11th, Bart Hector Jr., Casey Garber in 12th, Travis Barnes in 13th, Eric Shaney in 14th, Cameron Doe in 15th, Christopher Heim in 16th, Adam Halm in 17th, Thomas O'Hara in 18th, Rusty Webb, Casey Tillman, Nick Bellamy, Ryan Gormley, Seth Frazier, and Sean Yon. Oh, actually, I don't know how to say your last name, Sean. I apologize if I said it wrong. This car's getting ready to pull off, and these drivers are about to go green, Greg.
Looks like Dylan Huffines driving the Brandon Real Aero car, one of the most notorious cars from the Northwest, gets the green flag. We are underway here at Phoenix International Raceway, and Dylan Huffines out to the big lead early over Montana's Josh Robinson. And here come the legends of the Northwest down through the dogleg to complete lap number 1. Robinson's a good run off of turn number 2, able to close up on Huffines as we make our way through turn 3 and 4 to complete lap 1. Dylan Huffines leading the way.
Yeah, these first 4 appears to have separated themselves already very quickly onto this race, already 1 lap in. But battle here for actually 4th place as side by side, just 2 rows back for that, just battle for 4th. However, the whole field's pretty much all getting together as Phoenix is a pretty big track for these guys. Oh, some slight contact there with the number 5 and the number 84. That being said, the 5 did a fantastic job of saving his tires. Taking a look and seeing what else is going on in the field, Greg. It's very difficult for you to see with the very narrow view that you have here with these limited camera angles on your side. But what are you seeing already as these guys are spreading out?
A lot of jockeying for position here in the early going, Carlos, and honestly for me the hardest part right now would be not having the actual lineup, just going off the tickers, trying to figure out who's in what car, just because of the fact that normally we have that information to us, but with the technical difficulties we're having as the battle breaks off for second, that's Shane Quinn in the 78. He's paying tribute to Joe Constance out of the Monroe area, the owner of Joe's Racing Products, proud sponsor of the iRacing.com Northwest Tour. This paint scheme that Shane Quinn is running tonight is Joe Constance's late model scheme that he has run through the Northwest for years and years and years. So great to see Shane Quinn paying tribute to our series sponsor, Joe's Racing Products, by running Joe Constance's car. As the field cycling its way through, I'm seeing Pete Harding's paint scheme there in the 39, and Bart Hector Jr. I know is in the 42 tonight. That's going to be different for any Garrett Huffines fans out there who are used to seeing Garrett in the 42. That's actually Bart Hector Jr. paying tribute to Jeff Jefferson tonight. Yeah,
good eyes, good eyes. It's, unfortunately with me, I'm not too rich with the history of the Northwest Tour, so I'm a little bit paint scheme literate here, but it is very nice to see. This is the second year, well, at least that we've been broadcasting that they've been doing this, and it's always nice to get a little blast from the past and get a chance to take a look at some paint schemes that I normally just don't get a chance to take a look at.
And yeah, and Carlos, these cars that you are seeing here today, these are cars that have just been famous through different points of the Northwest, but probably the most famous car in the Northwest, I think any person with ties to the Northwest can say here as we see Shane Quinn going for the lead on Dylan Huffines. That is Dylan, correct, in the 69?
Yes, that is Dylan Huffines.
Yeah, yep. I knew it was a Huffines, just wasn't sure if it was Garrett or Dylan, but as Quinn making the move for the lead, he had the nose in front as Huffines goes way up the track, and in comes Robinson, and oh, look at that, and that right there is the car that I was getting ready to talk about, that blue number 64, which looks like is being driven by Devin Petty. That blue 64, Garrett Evans, the most famous car in the Northwest, hands down, almost 400 career victories throughout the country. Went from the Northwest to California, Wisconsin, even going down to the Carolinas, and even he has competed in the Snowball Derby down in Pensacola, Florida, in kind of your neck of the woods there, Carlos.
Yeah.
That-ish. Garrett Evans has competed all across the country.
Yeah, it's a very nice looking paint scheme, and I have heard of it of that name before, but yeah. So the leader has pretty much checked out almost 1 second long at this moment. However, Dylan Huffines and Devin Petty has actually Dylan Huffines had as he was getting past went incredibly wide and actually almost was the reason why the 57 also had a bad corner just a while ago, resulting in loss of positions. But since these two have been slightly battling it out for second place, it has allowed Shane Quinn to check out. That being said, the lead is kind of at a standstill right now. All of them are running around the same lap times, but Shane Quinn's just a little bit faster. That being said, the rest of the field is spreading out. Phoenix is a small track for what other people usually see it at, but for racers like these and race cars like these, it's kind of a big deal, and it's something that calls for special rules and special types of racing here. Is we are running the 2008 configuration of this racetrack. As I don't know if the
big bobble.
Yeah, huge bobble there from the from Matt Hackathorn in the 084, but I'm not sure if the management wanted it to be Phoenix '08 just because of classics, or if it wanted to be Phoenix '08 because the current Phoenix version is you can get away with a lot of stuff there that can kind of be a little bit hard to call.
I can actually answer that question for you, Ghost. The reason we went with this configuration on Phoenix is not only is this the NorthWest Tour tribute, we are also doing our version of the old Copper World Classic, a very famous late model race that used to be run here every January, I believe it was, at the old Phoenix International Raceway. Under this configuration, it was late models. It was the NASCAR Southwest Tour, modified sprint cars, midget cars, you name it, it ran in the Copper World Classic, and this is kind of our tribute to that classic event, one of the bigger events here on the west side of the Mississippi River when it comes to late model racing. And you know, in the NorthWest Tour, we love doing our own versions of some of the most famous races. We had the Snowball Derby, we have Iowa, we've had Myrtle Beach, we had the Oxford 200 earlier this year. We love paying tribute to these great races and having our own versions of it. This is just another case of paying tribute to one of the great late model races, and probably, like I mentioned earlier, probably the most prestigious one on this area, or in this area of the country, before the days of the Winter Showdown and the Summer Showdown and the All-Stars Showdown, as Dylan Huffines gets into Devin Petty. And Brandon Reel and Garrett Evans, no strangers to each other at all. These two have had some incredible battles in the Northwest over the year. But yeah, this is just another case of us running our own version of one of the great late model races of the past.
Yeah, and just very close there, that last lap, there were almost 3 incidences. Dylan Huffines was able to actually pretty much wall ride turn 1 a lap ago, and was able to hold on to his position, as usually cannot do that at any race car here that runs in Phoenix. Usually while riding this track is a bad idea, or you're placed in a bad spot, but it somehow worked out as they're wrecking behind. This is number 5 of Brad Carpenter. Caution will come out.
And I think everyone's going to get Brad Carpenter. Oh, no, right
no.
As I say that, a couple more guys pile in after the fact. And Brad Carpenter is paying tribute to the mayor of Terrace Heights, Washington, Chris Hart. Not the actual mayor, as Terrace Heights is just a community in Yakima, but that's been his nickname. Brad Carpenter, just have to see one more time. Here we go. I believe that's Travis Barnes in the 8 behind him.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome contact. Not sure who's in the Pete Harding car, the 39 that was also up, but he wasn't
Travis
caught up
McKinney.
in that. Travis McKinney driving the Pete Harding car tonight, so McKinney able to get away from there. But we have our first caution of the day on lap 17 of 200, and so far it's been the Shane Quinn show once he was able to get around Dylan Huffines around lap 5 or 6.
Yeah, it has. Shane Quinn, after he got done Huffines, started to check out. I was actually checking out a little bit more, although not as fast as earlier. But something that we haven't had a chance to do today, and pardon us with technical difficulties, it looks like maybe something's going on with iRacing, considering both of us are having problems. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current point standings. As actually, hold on. That's right. We can have live pit stops going on. Are there people in pit? Yes, there are. Dylan Huffines in pit road. Who else is in pit road? Scott Mann, Travis Barnes, Bart Hector Jr., Matt Hackathorn. A lot of these drivers currently going down pit road, because this is beginning to look like pit stop strategy is taking effect here at Phoenix here at the NorthWest Tour. Is 18 laps into this race. We don't have a limit on tires, so it's probably, I don't know, it's not the end of the world, but I don't know. What's your call, Greg?
I like the early taking advantage of the fact that we're able to do pit stops here in this race. We're going to see a lot of varying strategies, and this is just the start of it. And remember, the Sprint Cup race, or the NASCAR Cup Series race, it's not the Sprint Cup or even the Monster Cup anymore, but the Cup Series race earlier today did come down to pit strategy. So seeing it once again, that of course in Las Vegas, Nevada, this one Phoenix, Arizona, and already different strategies showing their way just 18 laps in. Remember, you have up to lap 150 to pit as many times as you want. Of course, you don't want to pit too many times and put yourself in a hole, but the varying strategy is going to become very clear here in the next 20 laps or so, and it's already kicked off.
Yeah, these vehicles use essentially sippy cups to get when they want to get some fuel. So if you're all the way in the back and you go down Pier Road, if you're not quick enough, you can find yourself lapped in this racetrack. But let's go over and actually talk about the points that we were interrupted there by a couple drivers using pit stops. But in the current points that we see, Ryan Gormley, rookie sensation, has gathered the points lead once again, 895 points. However, only 5 points behind is Seth Frazier, two-time winner. He actually won the last race, which was the twin races on Saturday and Sunday. Bart Hector Jr. currently in third, 11 points back. Shane Quinn, 16 points back. Your top four are separated by 16 points, Greg. Just, what does this tell you?
Tells me just how competitive the Northwest Tour has been this year, brought to you by Joe's Racing Products. And I know that Joe Constance of Joe's Racing Products has to be happy seeing his sponsored series having such a great show, and he's got to be even more happy seeing his car leading the way right now. But looking at the rest of the points, it's also a little bit more spread out, but I'm noticing a tie for ninth there between Dylan Huffines and BJ Tidrick. So very interesting seeing a couple of cars grouped together, then we're spaced out a little bit, and then they're grouped back together here.
Pardon me, that's
that's
actually a graphical issue there. It looks like the person who made the graphic did not put the bottom half of the points numbers correctly, the behind. But the current actual points tracker is correct. It's just the behind part is incorrect, so I do apologize for that. Getting ready to go back to green, Greg. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing quite a few cars that I've seen race over the years getting ready to take the green flag as Shane Quinn and Devin Petty get set to take the lead. And boy, Joe Constance, Garrett Evans, Pete Harding represented in the top three. We've seen this a ton of times in the Northwest. We're seeing it again here on iRacing. Green flag is out. Shane Quinn back to the lead. And here comes Travis McKinney. Remember, he won at Rockingham earlier this year. He gets around Devin Petty. Pete Harding around Garrett Evans. And those two had an incredible rivalry.
You may not have been able to see it there, but the number 39 Travis McKinney actually got very loose exiting turn 2. To the point where he ended up losing all the momentum he had and is now all the way down to third, pretty much stalemating from where he restarted. So it'll be interesting to see if Travis can actually ease up a little bit and try to get himself back up there, especially quickly. We are only 22 laps in a 200 lap event, but if these guys, especially enough caution comes out, this thing can go by pretty quickly.
It can, and we were actually discussing it last time we had a race with no B-main, which was at Urbandale. It went very quickly. Not expecting the same out of this one just because the laps take a little bit longer, and this is a little bit more of a technical track than Urbandale, but you could still see it click away pretty quickly as we see Dylan Huffines going back to work on the 97 of Adam Halm. He's paying tribute to Jason Jefferson, the younger brother of Nick Jefferson, and that red 97 Dodge, when that thing unloaded at a racetrack here in the Northwest, for a while it was, okay, who's going to finish second? Because that car was almost untouchable back in the early 2000s in the Northwest region.
Yeah, taking a look, it's the first 6 drivers are pretty much singled out. They're not really going too far out. However, there's a nice little pack there. Oh, one of these drivers is 69 of Huffines, I believe. No, that's the number 9 of Scott Main. Got a little bit loose next to the corner, but it's kind of the meat of the middle here with this middle pack. Is there somebody just smacked the wall? I think that's the number...
I believe that was Hackathorn.
Yeah, that was Hackathorn in the 084 technically, but he's showing number 84. I believe there's another... Rusty Webb is actually also driving the number 84. So, actually, Greg, why don't you go ahead and tell us a bit about how you guys handle same digits or triple digits numbers?
What we would normally do, we typically don't have triple digits. I think the only driver in the Northwest who runs an actual triple digit car nowadays in late models would be Josh Beal, who runs the 112 on a normal basis. BJ Tidrick and JC Wofford, Scott Walker, they share a number 100 car on a part-time basis. It pops up once in a while, but it hasn't run a full year in a while. But I think we're going to see BJ and company with his custom fab teams running the full season in the 100 car this year. So we might see a few more triple-digit cars in the Northwest this year. As far as the same number goes, typically we will roll with the 33 or 33X. That's the example I use because we have a lot of 33s in the Northwest. And if there's even more than two, then it'll go with typically the first letter of the driver's last name would be the differing thing. So you have the 33, the 33X, the 33S, 33R, so on, so on.
And why do they allow multiple cars with the same numbers?
Because technically, if we do the letter in, it counts as a different number. So it's allowed to, and we actually have had it happen. We had 4 cars of the same number 77, show up to several races this year. So it's very confusing for the scorers, but once you're able to figure out which car is which, and as long as they mark, hey, I'm the 77M or I'm the 77D or whatever, then it's typically like, okay, we're able to process which car is which. It takes a while, but it works itself out eventually.
All right, that's interesting. Thank you so much. Is looking up, the top 2 guys have checked out. First place is a 2.5 second lead over second place. However, pardon me, the leader has checked out. Second place, Devin Petty has pretty much they're kind of slowing down the rest of the group. There's he just had a little bit of a connection issue there. We see Ryan Gormley going a little wide. Josh Robinson, Nick Bellamy, Travis Barnes, all of these guys are, well, at the moment now pretty much competing for third place. This is kind of where that side-by-side group is going. Is these guys, they're content. Well, they're not content with running where they are. They want to run higher up, but they just can't seem to get off of each other at the moment. Oh, no!
Oh, and as you say it, Josh Robinson goes into the wall. Caution is out. I believe he was caught up with Scott Mann. Let's take another look. And that's Travis Barnes in the 8 behind him. And yeah, some net code there. Possibly collecting. Oh, Bart Jr. got a little bit of a piece of that as well.
Taking a look at it from the blimp camera.
Yeah, this is the angle that I'll see if it was netcode or not.
Okay, well...
no, maybe not.
There was some netcode, but there was probably going to be contact there anyway. Take a look at it one more time. I think the 42 got out of it okay. I don't think he has any heavy damage.
It's about a 2x. Would you say about 2x there for the 42 of Hector?
I don't think they do 2x's in non-dirt ovals for contact. That's either 0x or 4x's. That might be a 4x.
Hopefully not, because I know that would be a letdown. But here we go, more pit road, and wow! Did you see Travis Barnes on the outside of the Neil Newberry 04? I'm sorry I haven't caught the driver of the Neil Newberry 04 yet.
That's Nick Bellamy.
Did you see him? Nick Bellamy.
Oh! I thought there was going to be contact. Oh, iRacing.
Good old iRacing. So Nick Bellamy tribute to Neil Newberry, and I'm actually wearing my hoodie of one of the Neil Newberry Memorial races that we do at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval every year tonight during this broadcast. So,
yeah, 42 of Bart Hector Jr. overshot his pit stall, so he had to actually back it up and then almost move forward and everything as he had to find his pit stall. We see the 73 of Eric Shaney actually stayed out, so I don't know if this is to try to lead a lap and then go down pit road, or if this is to stay out there to stay out. So we also see the 9 of Scott Mann, who got involved in that incident. The Travis Barnes, these are the guys that are staying out. So Scott Mann actually did go down pit road. He's going down pit road again, but Eric Shaney, it looks like he's staying out. He'll be the only driver that would not be going down pit road at the moment. And actually, I wanted to mention this earlier, but I forgot. I didn't get a chance to. Travis McKinney is actually taking it to the garage, and he's on the chat saying that his PC shut down and he cannot get it back up. So unfortunate for you, Travis. We wish you good luck. Hoping you can get it back up running again. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more racing. All right, and we are back. So unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what was wrong with that commercial there. It should have been working, but it wasn't. But we're going to go back to Green Greg. I believe Greg is actually trying to get his iRacing back up and running to make it easier on you guys. Fortunately, I'm not sure what's up with iRacing today. But we are back, and we're going to go see what we can do to make this broadcast easier on you guys. Greg, we're about to go back to Green.
And trying to get the session up as I got alt tab it to get it back out, but it looks like we went back green, I believe, as my screen's taking forever to load. There it is, we're back green. Eric Cheney leading the way in the Gary Lewis number 73. Gary Lewis, the driver of that, at the time it was orange and teal, now it's just all orange. The winningest driver in the Northwest as it comes to earnings. If it was a big money race, Gary Lewis was there and he was probably in victory lane. And Cheney paying tribute to him, but no problem for Shane Quinn to get back around. And Shane Quinn, one of the surprises of the year here in the Northwest Tour, 3 wins on the year, and no surprise the way it's been going, though, that he is back out in front in the 78.
Oh, 3 wide. They're almost 3 wide as these guys are battling for second place. Number 44, Ryan Gormley, had to just back off there a little bit to avoid any heavy contact as Nick Bellamy on the 0-4 on the outside is now trying to make a double foul and going to get that position from Ryan Gormley as Travis Barnes, it looks like he's going to get that run off. No problem there. Nick Bellamy going to try to get a second position off of the number 73 of Eric Cheney.
Cheney on the inside, and my iRacing system made it about 2 laps and shut itself off again. So,
it looks like it may be an even worse issue. Yeah, that's a real shame for you, Greg. As hopefully we can get that figured out for the next broadcast. Taking a look and seeing what's going on out there. Pretty much everybody's somebody's wrecking in the back.
Oh, big wreck. I believe that was Casey Tillman.
Yeah, Casey Tillman, no caution coming out at the moment. Let's go back and see if we can take a look at what happened.
Petty hit the wall.
Yeah, that's what it was. He had to slow down. Unfortunately, though, number 25 could not see that. You see number 64 going wide, hitting the outside wall right there. Getting right in front of the number 25 and Casey Tillman. Nowhere to go. Heavy damage on his vehicle. And kind of insult to injury. No caution came out. He's actually going down pit road at the moment. So heavy enough that he may have had a meatball flag having to go down pit road. Battle once again here for 4th place, pardon me. Cameron Doyle, Ryan Gormley, Eric Cheney. These guys were battling hot and heavy there in the middle of these last couple corners. It appears that it looks like Eric Cheney may have to be backing off just a little bit, but not too much, because Dylan Huffline's going to make some heavy contact. Cheney up against the outside wall, heavy damage. Caution's out.
And Brandon Reel gets in the Gary Lewis, and we've got issues. Let's take another look at the replay here on 3 Wide TV. You see him coming into turn 1, and yeah, just 2 guys fighting for the same piece of real estate there, Carlos.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple other drivers getting involved. Who were they?
Not sure if anyone else got involved. I know Casey Garber there in the 18 just barely got through. No, not seeing anyone.
Yeah, no,
else.
I must have misheard you were saying there. That's on me. Taking a look at it one more time, different camera angle. Ooh, I think we're gonna be seeing that beautiful paint scheme of the Huffine having to go down and take a tap on that one.
I would believe so on that one. That's a tough pick for Dylan Huffines. And I was actually really happy to see that paint scheme in the field tonight, because we were talking about having that paint scheme in the field last race. As yes, looks like he has tapped and is pulling in. But we were discussing it last year to see if we could get the paint scheme in the field. And the guy who paints most of our cars, Mike Wood of Mike Wood Race Design, saw a picture and said he wanted to give it a shot, but it just didn't work out this year. But looks like, not sure if it was Mike or not, but someone was able to get the aero paint scheme down, and it's in the field tonight, and it looks great out there. Unfortunately, that he has to tap there on that one.
Yeah, Mike, if If you're there and you actually painted that scheme, please let us know on the chat. That would be great information there to find out. Oh, as looks like Catherine Rose also was there saying, actually, Greg, you said the wrong names when you were saying who was involved in Iraq. Made me think that other people were involved. As looks like you may have fooled me, but you didn't fool on Kathy.
I said Gary Lewis because that's the paint scheme that Eric Cheney's running. That was where the confusion came from.
That's true. That's true. Let's take a look. Seeing why don't Greg? Why don't we go ahead and see if we can talk to one of these drivers, maybe Shane Quinn or Travis Barnes, and see if we can get their takes already here in this caution. As 44 laps into this race, we are currently on our third caution, 10 laps in so far. But Greg, who have you caught up with?
Oh, let's see if we can dial up the guy in the race lead. Shane Quinn, Greg runs 3xTV, got a copy.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey Shane, you're running the Joe's Racing Products car for Joe Constance, and it's looking real pretty up in front. And we were saying, no real surprise to see you work your way up to the front here early, looking like another great run for you so far.
Yeah, I messed in qualifying. I got into the wall a little bit, and so I didn't really get to qualify where I wanted. But I'm up front, and I'll take it. And I gotta try to hold these guys off. They're pretty quick.
Yeah, you got a tough task with a couple fast guys. You got Travis Barnes, Nick Bellamy, Cameron Doyle behind you. And Shane, what made you pick Joe Constance's paint scheme to run tonight, with the sponsor, of course, being Joe's Racing Products, the proud sponsor of the series? What made you decide to run this scheme tonight?
I just like the Joe's look on the car. I think it looks cool, and kid Kyle Lahr used to race this paint job as well on iRacing, so I did it partially because of him. I hope he's watching, and hope everybody's having fun watching.
Oh, we're having a blast, and it looks like you are having a blast as well. And like we said, the car looks absolutely great. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
You guys up in the booth making this happen, and all my friends that are. I'm going green right now. I gotta go, guys. Yep. Sorry.
All right. Good luck rest of the way, Shane.
It's a little too close to call there. As we're about to go back to green, and it seems like the officials have had enough, and they're going to make these guys go single file, at least for a while. Green flags back out as number 78 is going to take off without any issue there. Second place also going to be clean off, as kind of the battle there continues to be fourth, third, as these guys just are not having a good chance of staying with Shane Quinn, and in this case also Travis Barnes.
Yeah, we saw the 44 of Ryan Gormley. I had a theory that that was going to be the car that the rookie sensation Ryan Gormley went with, and I am correct in that one. He's paying tribute to Mark Owens, one of the great drivers from his neck of the woods up in the Kalispell, Montana area, the number 44 Budweiser car. So really cool to see Mark Owens represented in this one for the first time here in the iRacing.com Northwest Tour Throwback Night. Here, very cool to see Ryan Gormley paying tribute to Mark Owens.
Yeah, very nice indeed. Taking a look and seeing who else. Pretty much everybody's kind of single file now. Now that the officials have decided to go on a sort of single file restarts, which of course they have the right to do, considering that iRacing made that an option a couple builds ago. But it is leading to a cleaner restart. We're not seeing these guys go double file. For position, as a matter of fact, I'm not actually seeing anybody go double file for position. Everybody is single file from what we are seeing. Why don't we go on board the number 70 Shane Quinn and take a look and see what he's doing in the race car. Going into turn one. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, we see on the gyro cam here, you can see right there the banking on Phoenix International Raceway here at the old Phoenix. Ooh, a big bobble there from Shane Quinn, so it looks like we picked the right lap to ride along with him there. Let's see what he does as he kind of just sailed it a little bit soft into turn number 3 there. Looks like he was, for at least turn 3 there, about half a groove above the yellow line before diving down below the left line for the big run off of turn number 4 there. Curious if he's been doing that all day, and yeah, we see it again there in 1 and 2, but don't look now. Knock, knock. Here comes Travis Barnes in the number 8, the Irwindale winner, looking for the race lead.
Yeah, it seems like because of what happened those last two laps, it seems like Travis Barton is actually able to catch up to Shane Quinn, and he might actually be able to take care of something here if these guys are going to be going on like that. Travis Barnes, these guys go side by side for a couple laps. That could allow Nick Bellamy, maybe Cameron Doyle to catch up, and these guys do catch up, they're going to be bringing in a whole mess of trouble. All these vehicles out there that are just itching to get another position.
Well, Nick Bellamy has been able to separate himself from Cameron Doyle a little bit. So Cameron Doyle, I don't know how much he's going to be able to make a stab at these guys, because now he's feeling the heat from Ryan Gormley, the points leader, behind him, and Casey Garber there in the number 18 as well. And you see Cameron Doyle having some connection issues, so not sure how bad that the situation is there on the number 90, the Bobby Fox tribute tonight for Cameron Doyle. As we see Nick Bellamy, the 04, he's really separated himself from everybody right now. He's kind of just off doing his own thing in third right now, clicking away some laps as we see the rest of the field making their way through Cameron Doyle, Ryan Gormley, Casey Garber. I believe this is Hackett behind Garber.
Yep, that's Hackathorn.
Yep, and then BJ Tidrick behind Hackathorn, as Hackathorn looks inside of Garber.
Yeah, Hackathorn's kind of been stuck there. He hasn't been really trying to make a lot of moves. I guess that could be good if you want to keep your car clean. Remember, we only just finished a quarter of the race there, as you saw Casey Garber get himself a little bit loose, just trying to catch up behind rookie sensation of Ryan Gormley. But I don't know. We haven't gone and checked on the weather. It's hot, 90 degrees air temperature. 121 degrees track temperature. These guys are moving around, and if they don't take care of their tires, Greg, that's not going to be a good thing, especially considering the fact that these setups are designed to be loose to begin with.
And we've seen it through the years with the iRacing.com Northwest Tour. The longer it goes, the looser it gets. So for them to be this loose early, a lot of these guys are going to be very thankful that they are allowed to get tires for another 95 laps, because I know a lot of guys would be white knuckle by the end of this 200 lap sprint if you were not allowed to have tires. Oh, and Shane Quinn with a slide there a little bit through 3 and 4, but Travis Barnes not able to capitalize. But it looks like Nick Bellamy may slowly be beginning to reel him in a little bit there, Carlos.
Yeah, it just seems like something's up with Shane Quinn. It's only been 23 laps since he's gone down pit road, and I guess technically this would be the longest time since he has gone down pit road, but that shouldn't really be, maybe, I guess it depends. It depends on how you want to see it, but it looks like Travis Barnes is doing a great job hanging out to Shane Quinn. That could either be maybe Shane Quinn's saving tires, or Shane Quinn's tires have gone bad, or Travis has gotten a sniff of the lead, and he actually wants to lead some more laps. But whatever's being said, Shane just cannot just shake off Travis Barnes at the moment.
But he's able to pull a little bit more of a gap there as we take a look a little bit further back in the field. Hackathorn, Tidrick, and Hector there with Scott Mann behind him. And then we see some cars with some damage deeper in the field. As here comes Travis Barnes once again. Barnes is able to get a really good run through turn 2 there. He might have a shot on the inside here through the dogleg. No, Quinn's able to get back away. So now we go on board with Nick Bellamy. And Carlos, Nick Bellamy has the best seat in the house besides me and you here in the broadcast booth. Nick Bellamy, he has the best seat in the house for this one.
Yeah, Nick Bellamy's he's been slowly reeling it in. He's also loose as well, but not to the same extent as some of the other guys, but just slowly catching up every little bit. Maybe a lap goes by, or 2 laps go by, and he catches up, and then a third lap he loses some, but he's slowly reeling it in, especially as these two guys battle side by side for the race lead, or get close to side by side. I know Shane cannot ignore the fact that Travis Barnes is right behind him. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a cloud cover there. That could affect how some of these guys are driving it into the corner, especially if the temperature changes, even if it's a little bit. But with these old tires, it's gonna be fun to see how well these guys hang together.
And if we get cloud cover, that's going to cool the track down a little bit, and that's going to tighten the cars up just a hair as the track cools down just a little bit. But at this stage of the race, and yeah, you see it, it's already cooling down a couple of degrees. It was at 123, now it's at
No,
121.
it was 121.
Oh, it was 121 earlier. I misheard you there on that one. I apologize for that one. And now,
Oh, we got a driver
one
there.
car in the
95.
Yeah, driver. That Jan, I believe.
Yeah,
was
Sean Jan.
in the 95. Paint tribute. I believe that is Harry Jefferson. That is, or the paint scheme that is being run there.
Not
He
sure
just
what
kind of got
happened
off.
there.
Yeah, he just got off in the grass there. Here we might have a better look at it. Oh, he just lost it there off turn number 2 and just wound up in the grass, and it was enough to bring the caution out.
A little weird how that happened. Let's go on board and see what happened. Let's listen in. It looks like he maybe got a little bit behind on getting his steering back in for the straightaway, and that probably turned his car just around once he gave it just a little bit too much gas exiting the corner. But 62 laps so far. I expect to see the majority of these guys going down pit road, considering that's been about 29 laps since their last stop. Going down, yeah, a bunch of these drivers are going down pit road.
And I'm not surprised, because we were really starting to see drivers struggling with the tires as it got more and more. We see Casey Garber there. There's Bart Ecker Jr., the 42. A lot of damage on the 42 on the nose there. Have to imagine that was from that earlier incident, as we see a couple more. Brad Carpenter, Josh Robinson. And the field coming in and pitting here. Looks like a couple of guys stayed out. The 4, I believe, stayed out, and didn't see if anyone else stayed out or not. But looks like a vast majority of the field came in for... Whoa, Dylan Huffines came screaming into his pit stall there.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, as Dylan Huffines is one of the last ones in there, considering the fact that he had to start the last restart all the way at the tail end. That's rookie sensation Ryan Gormley beating the rest of the group, exiting pit road. Wow, you guys can't see it here, but Ryan Gormley had a 21.5 second pit stop. The rest of the group, Travis Barnes had a 23.4, and Cameron Doyle had a 22.2 second pit stop. Massive pit stop differential there. As the one guy that did stay out, Thomas O'Hara, is actually down pit road at the moment. So that he probably just went out there to lead a lap. But now that being said, Ryan Gorman's going to retake the lead and start the next restart from the lead. We're going to go ahead and take another quick break, as hopefully we'll see if we can figure out what some of these issues are with the commercials. All right, green flag's back out, as I guess Greg didn't hear my cue to go. Ryan Gormley getting the lead for the first time this race, and He got himself a nice clean restart. Travis Barnes currently in second. They didn't get a good restart compared to the last time. But if it's going to be anything like last time, we might expect to see him maybe contending for the lead once again. Ryan Gormley already kind of losing that advantage, Greg. Within that first lap, it seemed like Gormley got off to a great start, but Travis Barnes may have... Oh, caution's back out. Yeah, caution is back out. Not seeing who was involved in number 25.
Oh,
Casey
Tillman. That's the second time Casey Tillman has been involved in an accident. Let's see what
Oh.
happened here. Oh, got together with Sean Yan. And yeah, that's a hit there for the 25.
Take a look at it one more time. And I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looks like... I don't know if Sean... I think Sean may have slowed it down. But let's go on board.
Yeah, because Casey Tillman was going much quicker than Yan was. Let's go on board with Tillman and see what happens.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the 95 maybe overshot the corner a little bit and tried to slow it down, but heavy damage for Casey Tillman as he's actually taking it to the garage, and that's going to be it for him tonight.
That's a tough one for Casey Tillman, the winner earlier this season at Stafford, had a dominating performance that night, but since then he has really honestly struggled in the Northwest Tour since picking up that win at Stafford, Carlos, and just add another one to it for Casey Tillman. So despite the win at Stafford, this has not gone the way he's wanted it to this season.
Why don't we go ahead and see if we can talk to rookie sensation Ryan Gormley. Greg, I'm going to give you a moment so you can catch up, as already 68 laps in, 69 at the moment of this 200-mile race. We are having some cautions, maybe more than the league admins would want, but we also see a couple drivers going down pit road, Adam Hall as well as Christopher Heim. Greg, are you there?
I am, and I have caught up with Ryan Gormley, race leader, Greg Runs 3YTV. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ryan, it looks really awesome having you pay tribute to Mark Owens here tonight, and it looks really good up in the front. How's it feel right now?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah.
So, Ryan, I had a feeling this was going to be the scheme that you ran with the fact that you're from Montana and you run a red 44. I had a gut feeling that you were going to be running a Mark Owens paint scheme, and it looks great out there. I mean, probably one of the sleekest looking cars out here. I was really happy to see that a Mark Owens paint scheme did show up. And was he the driver you grew up cheering for? Is there a specific reason you picked him?
Yeah, he was definitely my the guy I cheered for every weekend. I grew up actually in Libby, Montana, so it was just about an hour and a half drive over there and to Kalispell, and I actually went to school with one of his stepsons, and so I was actually there when he won the Montana 200 in '95. So I've got a picture of him, of me holding a good flag when he won it.
And that's got to be awesome, being able to run his car tonight and leading the way here at Phoenix. But Ryan, our cautions are going pretty quick, so we're going to wrap this up real quick. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to Seth and BJ for setting this race up. I like the pit stop strategy, Joe's Racing Products, and my family and friends, and everybody that supports me in racing.
All right, Ryan. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll hopefully see you back here on the podium here.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, well, we heard it right there from Ryan Gormley as Kathy, I see what you wrote. It's okay. No, I understand. But Greg, it seems like you have a #1 fan, and Greg, what's your opinion on this race so far?
Love you too, Aunt Kathy. I'm really liking this race so far. This is a race of comers and goers so far, because I'm really enjoying the differing aspect with the pit road strategy and how we're seeing different guys show up. I mean, in the early stages, it looked like it was going to be Shane Quinn's race to lose, but now Gormley's leading the way, and if we keep getting cautions, the laps could keep ticking away, and Gormley might find himself in position to win. Plus, we've got other guys up there. We got Cameron Doyle, Travis Barnes, of course. Seth Frazier has worked his way back into the Mitchell Orange 99, but Carlos, we're getting set to go back green, it looks like.
Yeah, green flag's going to be ready to come out. It's a pace car's going to be going down pit road very soon. Ryan Gormley first. Travis Barnes looking to get right up behind once again, hoping to not fall asleep behind the restart. And it seems like maybe he did just a little as Ryan Gormley gives himself a monster of a start going into turns 1 and 2. We're going to see if Travis Barnes might be able to cut that distance up in half like he did the last time before the caution came out. 72 laps here in this 200-mile event, 200-lap event. It's the same difference there as I don't know. I think Travis Barnes may have a faster car than Ryan Gormley, but it's only going to be interesting to see if the caution comes out or if the cautions don't come out, how that will affect the racing.
Boy, here's a good look for Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. A couple of the most famous cars in Wenatchee history. Neil Newberry's 04 being driven by Nick Bellamy, and Shane Mitchell's Bright Orange 99 being driven by Seth Frazier. They go to war there side by side. And Seth Frazier had to work his way through the field, and he is back cracking on the door of the top 5 right now, knocking on the door, I should say. But good to see Seth Frazier making a move through in the Mitchell Orange 99, one of the most famous cars out of the Wenatchee area. And we hope Shane is enjoying his retirement from a few years back. Ooh, some smoke a little bit coming from the 99. That allowed Casey Garber to work his way back up on the bumper. As, like he said right here, Travis Barnes, he's not good on the initial start, but once you get a couple laps going, that number 8 is very, very strong here at Phoenix.
Yeah, taking a look and seeing how he's been catching up slowly. He's been running just slightly different lines as he drives that turn 1 very, very tight into the white line. Gormley actually likes to give himself a little bit of space, and that could be costing him as now they're going side by side, or they were side by side there for the race lead, as it seems like maybe that run on the outside line by Gormley was able to work with the added pressure of the number 8 there on his inside. Seeing also a quick battle for third there. Greg, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing Shane Quinn. I almost said Joe Constance. I'm seeing Shane Quinn going to work Cameron Doyle in the 90 as a battle breaking out for the lead again. And Doyle, now he's got to be careful because now he's got to pay not only attention to the battle in front and make sure nothing happens in front of him, he's also got to fend off Shane Quinn. So, Carlos, if you're in the 90 car, which one are you more worried about? What's going on in front of you and making sure you don't run into it, or what's going on behind you with the very fast 78 car?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm not a championship contender. I'd probably be worrying about the wrong person. I guess I would probably be worrying about the guy behind me. I would probably be more concerned hoping that he doesn't try to do anything stupid or anything like that. But I don't know. I should probably be concentrating on that, on those first 2 vehicles and trying to get up there with them. But that's 78. It's kind of hard to ignore right now.
Yeah, because he is peeking all over the Fox Garage 90 of Cameron Doyle. And looks like side by side, Travis Barnes may have finally got his run that he was looking for on Ryan Gormley. He's got him. He clears him off turn 2.
What a run. Let's go ahead and quickly look at the replay to get another angle there on that run, taking a nice, tight inside line. Gormley giving him enough space, and that maybe could have been exactly what Gormley needed. Exactly what Barnes needed, with Gormley giving him just too much space on the outside.
And Travis Barnes has already opened up a little bit, 3/10 now, 4/10 of a second over Ryan Gormley. And behind him has kind of settled it down a little bit for the time being. Shane Quinn kind of settling it down and gearing up for another run here, possibly starting right now. And yep, right as I say it, there it is. Shane Quinn taking a peek on Cameron Doyle, and they are beginning to close in a little bit on Ryan Gormley, Seth Frazier, Casey Garber, Nick Bellamy as well. They're in the mix, and boy, Bellamy took a stab there at Shane Quinn in the 78, and Bellamy, he's beginning to make his moves back towards the front as he sits in 5th right now in the Neil Newberry 04.
Yeah, Travis Barnes starting to pull away now from Ryan Gormley, as I guess I was correct there. After all, Travis Barnes does have a faster vehicle than Gormley. I'm sure Gormley is not too happy not being in first place right now. But there are other worries here in going through his mind, considering the fact that he's got the number 90, number 78, the number 04 of Nick Bellamy. All these guys are slowly reeling in Ryan Gormley, and we're not 20 to go. We still have 120 laps left in this race. Plenty of time for these guys to battle and get around Ryan Gormley right now.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through this one at Phoenix yet, and we still have the road open for another 69, now 68 laps. Remember, lap 150, pit road closes, and it's you got what you got at that point. I know a lot of drivers are probably going to be hoping that there's a caution around lap 145 or so that they can get some fresh tires for that final sprint, because if they don't get in there a chance to pit too quickly before that lap 150, it's going to be interesting to see how they all unfold there. Cameron Doyle still having connection issues, and Gormley has been able to pull back away from the battle going on for third here, and not quite cutting into the lead of Travis Barnes, but now a great battle breaking out between Bellamy and Quinn here for the 4th spot. Bellamy on the outside making it work. Carlos, I think this would be the first time we see a pass on the outside here this afternoon.
It'll be interesting for sure. We've seen people defend on the outside line, no problem, but trying to just straight up pass on the outside line, that's it's a little bit hard. It's possible though, especially with maybe turn 1 might not be the best one. I think turn 3 would probably be the best time for you to pass on the outside line, considering just how angle sensitive and how speed sensitive turn 1 is. Turn 1 and 2, just the weird angle, the weird shape of how turn 2 exits back into the backstretch. It may not be the best time for you to be on the outside line. But you were mentioning 150 is actually, pit road doesn't actually close. 150, it reverts back to normal rules. So the drivers will still be able to go down pit road to get fuel. They just cannot get tires.
Yeah, so lap 150, it'll be interesting to see as both Bellamy and Frazier have gotten around Shane Quinn, which means next up is Casey Garber, and I wanted to make sure I had the right name. I knew who it was. I just couldn't remember the name. Casey Garber driving the John Bender 18 car tonight. I knew who it was. I just wanted to get it confirmed before I went and said the wrong name. And because I had like 3 or 4 names going through my head of who it could be, but it was good for I just wanted to get it confirmed, and finally got it. John Bender in the 18 being driven by Casey Garber tonight.
Yeah, I know you were definitely thinking about that as a number 90. Almost got the 0-4, turned around, actually cost himself track position and speed as he had to back off and hopefully avoid getting a tap out. And Greg, for the people out there that are new to this, can you go ahead and explain some of the unique rules, including the tap out rule?
So the tap out rule, what we do is we're trying to hold the drivers accountable for their own actions and kind of putting it in their hands also to police themselves. The tap out rule is if you feel that you were the cause of an accident, then you can tap out and just, hey, that's my fault. Oh, and we're probably going to have to
Shane Quinn, no caution.
No caution, so don't believe a tap out will happen here. Let's take a look at the replay as it was him and Casey Garber battling it out there. And Garber just got the wall and it shot him down into Quinn. No intention there whatsoever, but just a tough break there for Shane Quinn. The leader early now has his work cut out for him, Carlos.
Yeah, heavy damage there for Shane Quinn as didn't get himself in the position he wanted to be, and that is probably going to cost him the race win.
Tough break for sure. And to what I was saying about the tap out rule, if you feel you are the cause of the caution, you'll say, hey, that was my fault. I accept responsibility. You get sent to the back. Discipline ends there. No further questions asked. And you are allowed 2 taps per race. If you tap a second time, you're done for the night. But if you have 1 tap, it's totally fine. Just drop to the back. No questions asked. If no one taps on a caution, it goes to the review board. And whoever is determined to have been at fault is put on probation for the following race. I believe there's a couple more races as well. But if no one taps and it goes to the review board, it's whoever's determined at fault gets put on probation. So we're trying to encourage drivers to tap, and for the most part, we've been really good about having drivers tap and take responsibility, and it honestly makes us happy. And the caution is out.
Sean Yon.
Sean Yon once again going around in the Harry Jefferson 95. Let's see what happened, Carlos.
This will be more than likely his second tap out, so this This would have him get black flag, and it's kind of in the same place there. Two times in a row now, getting loose, exiting off of turn number 2. Is I'm sure he's not having a good night right now, and probably gonna be taking it to the garage.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough one for Sean Young. I believe this is either his first or maybe his second start in the Northwest Tour. Obviously not going the way he wanted it to, but tough break for him. But things are definitely going the way that Travis Barnes wants him to go in the number 8 right now. But don't look now, because Seth Frazier has gone from the back of the pack. He's up to 4th right now in that Mitchell Trucking and Paving 99 car, as we see more pit road strategy coming into play here. Looks like almost everybody's coming in, Carlos.
Yeah, 29 laps since the last stop is exactly the same amount of time to the previous mass pit stops that we saw earlier. So it looks like it to be some sort of pattern going on here. The streets drivers do not like going 29 laps until they have to pit. But 93 laps into this race, just over 50 laps left before pit road is closed. I do expect if another caution comes out, especially close to that 150 lap mark, that these guys are going to be going down pit road and they're going to be taking tires one final time. However, this is more than likely not going to be the case, as Ryan Gormley was the first one out. Nobody else is pretty much getting close to him, as Gormley had a monster of a stop, 14.8 seconds. Everybody else, 22 seconds. I think Gormley may have just taken right side tires, or no, actually that may not be the case. I think he probably took less fuel than the others.
I was going to say, that's either 2 tires or less fuel, and Gormley, of course, is obviously going to be banking on one more caution before we get to lap 150, and like we said there, we're seeing some different strategies beginning to unfold here, and it's been different from the start of the race, Carlos. But real quick, I want to give a thank you to Sherry Garber for saving my sanity. I texted her during one of the commercials. I was like, hey, black 18, yellow numbers. Name's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. Who drove it? And she messaged back that it was indeed John Benders. So thank you, Sherry, for helping me keep my sanity at least intact for the time being. We'll see if it's still intact here in 106 laps, but for the time being, thank you, Sherry.
Yeah, the race will be very close to halfway, as we should probably be at halfway under green flag conditions. I'm going to go ahead and give a thank you to everybody that's tuning in and watching. We have Kathy, of course, one of the first people to tune in. Lori Gormley, TBGT11, Dean Quinn, Persia Drake, Dan, just Dan. I don't know how you got that name, but congratulations. David Folds. And we also have Travis McKinney, who did mention his computer issues. Hopefully he was able to get that figured out. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and watching. And we hope you guys have a great time watching these fantastic guys have some fantastic racing.
And fantastic racing it is. And I keep saying it time and time again, but I just cannot stress it enough how much fun this race is for not just the drivers, but for myself, because this feels like a typical Saturday night at a racetrack here in the Northwest. Of course, I live in Spokane, but I'm lucky enough to be able to call Wenatchee and Hermiston the 2 tracks that I work at, and seen so many of these cars race at so many different tracks over the years. So it's just, this is without a doubt my favorite night on the Northwest Tour, being able to pay tribute to the legends of the Northwest, the region that we all call home. And Carlos, we're going back green with Ryan Gormley and the Mark Owens Budweiser 44 leading the way. A new challenge behind him, though, Seth Frazier in the 99.
Yeah, let's go on board Seth Frazier and see as man, Ryan Gormley is making all of these guys just look as if they're falling asleep behind the wheel. Ryan Gormley was able to get a good start, already half a second off of Seth Frazier. We're going to see if that's going to change anything within the next lap or 2.
We will see. And notice Frazier taking a much lower line through 3 and 4 there. Oh, it looked like Gormley may have bobbled just a hair off of turn number 4. Carlos, we're just a couple of laps now from halfway, and do you anticipate this race staying as a race of comers and goers, or do you think in the second half we're going to start seeing things settle down and we'll start seeing guys save it for the last 25, 30 laps or so.
I think we're probably going to end up going green the rest of the way. This track is difficult enough, and the setup is already loose to the point where, with everything going on, these drivers are going to be in the latter half fighting themselves. So I expect Ryan Gormley to eventually get past within the next couple of laps. Either it's going to be by Seth Frazier or it's going to be by Travis Barnes. But some of these guys, if they don't take care of their equipment, then they're not going to win this race.
We've seen that time and time again in the Northwest Tour. We think a guy's got it on lock, but then something happens late in the race. I mean, heck, look at just what happened with Shane Quinn early in the race. Everyone was having a hard time getting it, and we looked like, we were thinking, well, this looks like Shane Quinn's race to lose already. He is out of the mix already. We're not even halfway through this one, as we got a 3-car battle shaping up for the lead now.
Yeah, currently Shane Quinn is sitting at 20th, but on the lead lap, so it's still technically possible. But with the damage he has, it's pretty much unlikely. As these three vehicles battling for the race lead, we've had packs of 3 or more drivers battling for position, but the race leader has always gotten off to a good start. That it hasn't really happened this way. Is having a nice change of pace and seeing a battle for the race lead almost at halfway, coming across the start-finish line this time by would be at halfway, but it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
I actually really liked the idea there from Travis Barnes. You saw that Frazier was peaking low, but he had enough room that he could have fit the car in. I liked the move by Travis Barnes. I also liked how he realized that, hey, not this time, and we see the same move again. And Frazier wising up to it there as he kind of goes a little bit lower. But I like the patience shown there by Travis Barnes. Taking a peek, say, hey, guys, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not gunning for it right now. I like the patience being shown by Travis Barnes right now.
You know what else Travis Barnes is doing? Travis Barnes is probably also pressing L2 to intimidate right now, as he could be also doing that as he goes down there to peek a little. It may be a courtesy thing. It also may be an act of intimidation on the other guys to let them know that I'm here to partake.
I love these old EA Sports games. L2 to intimidate. That was like my go-to move on, I believe that was 05. That they introduced that one. But battle for the lead right now. Seth Frazier to the inside of Ryan Gormley. Look out. Shane Mitchell would be proud. Seth Frazier to the lead here at Phoenix.
What a fantastic move by Seth Frazier. As the sun is coming in and out. As track temperatures varying a lot this last bit. As it's actually gotten colder now, Greg. It used to be 121. Now it's 115 degrees track temperature. It's still hot. But it's changing, and those little changes, they can start to add up. It's could be a reason why we saw it could be a reason why we saw some of these guys doing well and then not doing well towards the end.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. If we kept catching clouds, which it looks like we've got one right now, as it's a little bit more shaded here in Phoenix. There's a big move by Travis Barnes, and there's that move we were waiting on from Travis Barnes, but he's going to clear Seth Frazier, and Frazier led about a lap and a half there before Barnes was able to get it back around him. Travis Barnes to the lead for the second time tonight, but we mentioned it. If the cloud coverage continued, the track was going to cool off, and that was going to cause the cars to tighten up just a little bit, not a whole lot, but these guys do have fresher tires than when we talked about that, so we'll see if that comes into play later on, especially once we get to the point where tires are no longer allowed, which we're 45 laps away from. So I'm going to be very much paying attention to the cloud coverage once we get to lap 150, because that could play a huge factor once these tires are no longer allowed to be changed and you're stuck with the tires you've got from then on.
Yeah, taking a look, what the time that it takes these guys to go down pit road and change tires and fuels. The next question you have to ask yourself is, would you short pit to hopefully get tires? Because it's going to be a tricky one. Taking a look at the data that we have received, it looks like these guys can go about 75 to 80 laps. We're already 14 laps into this run. Subtract 2 because of yellow flag conditions, or about 12 laps into this run. We have Okay, that kind of answers my question there. I don't think these guys are going to short pit to get tires. If they are going to short pit, they're probably going to short pit to split it in half. But you're going to be taking a lot of time just slowing it down, as we see there. I think that was the number. That was Matt Hackathon getting loose on the corners. It takes a long time to change these tires.
Well, Carlos, that actually brings me to my question that kind of as a follow-up there. You mentioned short pit for tires as, a battle breaking out now between Garber and Scott Mann. Would we possibly see anybody go for 2 tires near the end of this window for tires? Do you think anybody would gamble with 2 tires there?
That depends. Actually, 4 tires, 2 tires. It depends on how the pit stop are for these vehicles. If you take fuel, do you finish changing your tires before the fuel is fully set up? Which actually I think might be the case. I think these guys do need to. I think these guys take longer to fuel up than they do take to change tires. So we could be seeing some of these guys coming in a lap or 2 before pit road closes, getting 4 tires and actually filling up on less fuel than you would be if you were to stop right near the end.
So basically, as soon as you've got all 4 tires on, disconnect the fuel tank and go, and hope for the best. Hope you got enough fuel to make it.
If only that was possible. I believe iRacing does not allow you to stop fueling if you've selected a fuel quantity.
We'll see how it comes in. Different strategies about to unfold, and we're getting closer and closer to that time, as now we're inside of 40 laps before that. 39, now 38 laps left in the window for pit road, and varying strategies. We've seen a lot of drivers come and go in this race, and we're seeing Ryan Gormley right now, the 44, and I'm really liking this because I'm curious to see how this is going to unfold here for the second half of this race, especially once pit road closes.
The next question is, how are the guys going to be handling their vehicles, especially if they choose to not take tires? I believe the weather's still the same. Yep, 115 track temperature, but air temperature. No, track temperature, but the air temperature is actually going down just a little bit as the sun is back out. It is nice and sunny here in the desert, as maybe the temperature might be skyrocketing back up with the conditions these guys have. Greg, as a race car driver, what's your opinion? When do you start pushing it? Do you start pushing it now, hoping that you can get a caution, or what?
Oh, I'm not going to push it until the road is closed because I know I've got a shot for one more set of tires. So, yes, Carlos.
Travis McKinney is on the chat, and give him a gold star because he has reminded us about something we have forgotten. There will be a competition caution thrown at around lap 150.
All right, well, there you have it. So thank you, Travis, for getting us that information. Like you said, gold star there. So that's going to change up everything.
So, here's the kazoo.
Yeah, go for it.
You earned that kazoo, Travis. Thank you for letting us know. As that kind of just throws out this whole conversation we've had for a bit. As nothing much has been going on track. Everybody's pretty much single file here at I almost said Charlotte at Phoenix 2008, but Travis Barnes is taking off. I'm sure he wants to be further away, but just a second lead over Seth Frazier, not that bad. As Nick Bellamy has been trying to catch up on Seth Frazier a little bit, but if we take a look at the last couple of laps, it's very close. They're kind of stalemating now at the moment.
And not surprised to see them kind of settling down right now, because right now we're kind of in that area where we're just going to ride it out and see what happens for the next few laps as the laps wind down before the competition caution at lap 150. So not surprised to see him settling down right now. But Carlos, would you go for it at all before that caution, or would you kind of just hang out and see what your car's got at the time?
No, I would probably go for it. I would try to get as many spots as I could. We know when the caution is coming out. And if it comes out earlier, then it comes out earlier. But caution is coming out in about 30-something laps. Sorry, I failed math a couple times, but yeah, just go for it. See what works, see what doesn't, because when you restart, you're going to have less than 50 laps to go in the race, and if you haven't tested out how hard to push the vehicle, then you're not going to go far at all.
Alright, that brings me to my next question. Do you push it all out for here, or do you just push it for a couple laps to see what you've got for a charge at the guy in front of you?
You have
just
to go
all out now?
You have to go all out, see how hard you can push it. And because you can go all out for like 5 laps and pass somebody, but if at lap 7 your car starts handling bad, you're not going to know that come that final 50 lap run. Granted, these guys have run 26 laps. Pardon me, the longest they've run is 29 laps. They're currently at 27 laps right now. Before a caution would have come out, so they don't really have the data. Unless they practice by themselves. So they don't really have the race data on how these vehicles behave past a certain lap. And with about 45, 47 laps of a potential restart, it could be something that if you haven't practiced it, you can find yourself up against the wall, or you can find yourself losing more spots than you've gained.
We see right here, guys back here a little bit deeper in the field. This is around 5th or so. Cameron Doyle, Casey Garber, BJ Tidrick, and a host of others. Haven't talked about BJ Tidrick's paint scheme there in the number 11. He's paying tribute to Tom Sweatman in the number 11. So another one of the great drivers from the Northwest area being paid tribute to tonight. And I just can't stress enough how awesome it is to see all these paint schemes here. But Tidrick driving the Tom Sweatman entry tonight gets around Casey Garber, and there's a pass on the outside, Carlos. We saw that earlier with Nick Bellamy. You were able to play defense on the outside, but BJ Tidrick just showed that you can go offense on the outside, as did Nick Bellamy earlier.
Yeah, it's something that good to test out, especially now. 122 laps so far into this race, but you gotta be careful. That outside line, you push it too hard, you're gonna find yourself up against the outside wall, or you can find yourself missing a corner and riding that line near the outside and lose some more spots. But it's with the caution being set, you can kind of consider this early, because all these laps up until that halfway point kind of don't really matter. Besides getting yourself set up for that final 50 lap run, as these guys, they got to make sure they know what they're doing. Then they got to hope that they can pass a couple more spots and maybe chase after the race leader Travis Barnes. And Travis Barnes right now, race leader, almost 1.75 seconds ahead of 99 of Seth Frazier. He just needs to be careful. He knows what to do. He's got the speed. He's got the talent. He just needs to not make a mistake. If he's going to lap vehicles, he needs to do it nice and efficiently. And when he goes down pit road that final time, he cannot make a mistake.
Well, do you think he has enough time to get up to lap traffic, because we're 25 laps away from that competition caution, and there is nobody in his windshield right now. So I think he can probably safely not worry about lap traffic unless something were to happen deeper in the field, because we're 24 laps away, and this track is so large for these super late models. This is one of the larger tracks that we'll race at this year. So I think Travis Barnes might be lucky and not have to worry about lap traffic today.
Yeah, and that's one less thing to worry about. It's a huge gap from first to fifth, essentially. It's about 5.5 seconds from the race leader. We're only 33 laps into this, it's not into this green flag run, just a little bit less, about 31, 32 laps. But since the last time these guys have gone down pit road, it's been about 34 laps. This is kind of new ground to them. They haven't fully been able to run race conditions with this many laps of tire wear. It's interesting to see how these guys, how they drive, how they attack, how they behave. It may not make much of a difference, but as the tires go on in this hot, slick track with a loose setup, we may find ourselves in a position to have a caution, maybe a little bit before the caution break.
We'll see, and I have a feeling if it happens,
there we go.
There it is. Just getting ready to say, I had a feeling
No
that
caution,
if it happened, it would be from that gaggle,
Caution's
but no,
out.
we stay green for the. There it is. Just getting ready to say that I had a feeling that if we got one before then, it was going to be from that gaggle, and there it was. BJ Tidrick just caught the wall right in front of Casey Garber, and Garber able to continue, but Tidrick came to a stop there, and we go under caution at lap 129, and yeah, Tidrick just barely caught the wall there.
So yeah, not heavy damage, but a lot of time and position lost. There is some damage, cautions out, and we're going to be expecting these guys to go down pit road at least one last time.
And here we go. Travis Barnes, Seth Frazier, leading the charge down pit road. No surprise, everybody's coming. So, Carlos, you're going to have a little under 20 laps on these tires. Do you expect this to be the most racy that we've seen anybody?
Yeah,
I was just getting ready to say I expect this to be like it's the final 15 laps of the race, because you're going to be trying to get as many positions as you can before that caution.
Not seeing a lot of drivers making mistakes here so far in pit road. We've seen a couple drivers making a mistake or two, but it's not going to be much. It all depends on how these guys exit pit road, and how they restart here was a 20 lap, probably about 18 or so laps, as Travis Barnes is going to retake that lead back. No problem there for Travis Barnes. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back to the, once again, restart here for this race.
Back live here on 3Y TV at Phoenix International Raceway, Northwest Tour back tonight. And Carlos, while we were at commercial, we got an update. Remember how we had just said this was going to be the most racy portion of the race? Well, that just went out the window, because that counts as the competition caution. So it is on from here, but pit road is still open for another 18 laps. If we get another caution, you can take tires up until lap 150, but this is the competition caution. However, pit road is still open for the next 18 laps.
Yeah.
We get set to go. Sorry, Carlos. Back racing here. Travis Barnes, Seth Frazier, Ryan Gormley, your top three. Picking up speed is Barnes. We are racing with Nick Bellamy and Cameron Doyle rounding out the top five. 17 laps until pit road closes. If we get another caution in this one, now we're going to see some strategy come in if we get another caution, Carlos.
Yeah, if the caution comes out before pit road is closed, or before the rules revert back to normal, and tires are locked, then I expect these guys to come down one more time, get some tires, get some fuel, and go. But I'm not going to expect any of these guys to be going down pit road, even during green, just to get those tires once, pardon me there, so I started to talk and I started to die there at the same time. But once that 150 lap comes and goes, then the strategy is pretty much what you have, and you kind of have to make a decision now. Either run it hard and try to get as many spots as you can, or take it easy and hope that a caution doesn't come out to have tires there at the end. As Greg, what would you take?
If we have another caution, I would pull in, get 4 tires, and just try to work my way through the field, because I'm not so sure everybody would pit right now just because of the length of this run, especially if we get a caution in the next 2 or 3 laps. I'm not so sure everybody would pull into pit road. I personally would, and hopefully some of the guys in front of me stay out so I could have that much fresher tires. Oh, and Huffines kind of caught the wall there in the Brandon Real car, again catching the wall. I would expect a couple of different strategies there. I personally would pull in and go for it, but I'm not so sure everyone else is on the same page in that particular aspect.
Interesting for sure. As the next question would be if caution would come out, but we've seen it's kind of mixed. It's kind of a mixed match kind of sample size that we've gotten here. So we've had some cases the caution have come out within 10 laps, and other cases where the caution doesn't come out until after 30 laps. If it's the latter, then caution comes out. You're kind of stuck with what you have. But if the caution doesn't come out, then pardon me. If the caution comes out before 150, then you have to think about if you want to go down pit road or if you want to stay out there. We saw in a real life Cup Series race, staying out actually ended up winning the race, even though it was an accidental call there. But this isn't the Cup Series, and this is not the racetrack that they were running at. It's a different thing altogether. As pardon me for that. It'll be weird.
Yeah, myself being a fan of Brian Blaney, I definitely was not happy to see that late caution come out, but that's just the sport of racing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but we'll see who's able to put it in victory lane here tonight. Travis Barnes pulling away to a nice gap right now. We're watching this battle back here between Cameron Doyle, Matt Hackathorn, and Scott Mann, who's had an up and down night in that number 9, paying tribute to his father Kelly, but up and down night for Scott Mann, but he's up there still in the mix right now, hanging tough with Hackathorn right now, taking the peak high, now taking the peak low. So up and down roller coaster night for Scott Mann, but he's doing a pretty good job hanging in there in the 7th position right now.
You know what else is up and down roller coaster here in this race? And that's the sun, as it's coming back out on the racetrack once again. Is it's been going in and out a couple times, kind of fluctuating that temperature a bit. Currently it is staying at a nice 111 degrees. It's actually dropped since the last time we were talking about that, as it's dropped 10 degrees since the race has began. The air temperature though has stayed the same. This is all the sun coming and going. It's, well, I kind of want to see if the temperature is going to continue to drop as the race goes on, or if it's going to stay there or maybe get up. As Greg, 141 laps in this race, 9 of 10 laps before pit road is locking their tires. And what are you seeing out there?
Seeing a battle between Scott Mann and Matt Hackathorn. I apologize, my computer just glitched on me, but trying to get it back.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, there's not much battles going on around the racetrack. As hello, Slimy Drip 90. How are you doing today? Is pretty much everybody kind of staying single file. There's a cluster of cars here from 12th and back to, I believe, 17th. But everybody else is kind of running single file. It kind of looks like these guys are kind of stuck at what they're at. They're not able to move up too much. They're not able to move down. And actually, now we're saying that see a battle here for position between the 57 of Josh Robinson and the number 42 of Bartek Jr. As Harker Jr. is going to get that position nice and clear and finding himself currently in 9th place. Hoping we can get care of all of these technical issues, as it seems like iRacing's been having some problems here this week, and unfortunately it looks like Greg's PC is also having problems here this week. Oh, that's not a good news, as trying to hopefully get everything back up and running here for Greg Taking a look at what we're seeing, like I mentioned, not much going on here around the racetrack. But with 6 laps to go until the caution does come out, I'm not expecting to see much positions change. Let me go ahead and just crank up the audio there just a little bit and take a listen to the onboard sounds of all these race cars going by. Unfortunately, it's a bad night here with the technical difficulties bugs, as it seems like it's capturing Greg's PC one more time. Where as soon as we're able to get him back in the broadcast, you'll be hearing his fantastic voice. In the meantime, you just have me, as Peter Short, also unable to join us tonight, is taking care of a trip, and he should be back with us hopefully next week. Getting ready to go. A couple laps until pit road fully closes, and until the tires get locked up and taken to the place where they can't get them anymore. Not seeing much other battles going on the racetrack, as Travis Barnes, he has pulled away, but it does seem like Seth Frazier is just slowly catching. Let's go on board and see just how much of a difference he's been making these last couple laps. Alright, going through the dogleg right now. The last lap, he actually lost some time. As on Kathy, yes, tire jail. As Greg Rentz is currently restarting his PC. As Peter said, everything that can be going wrong is going wrong here tonight. As this weekend has not been one of the best. We've had a couple computer parts failures this weekend and kind of running on low power mode. So unfortunately, if you've experienced a couple of difficulties here with the broadcast tonight, we do apologize. We should be looking forward to running a full strength next week for the next race, but for now we have to take care with only being on one PC. Travis Barnes, these last couple of laps has actually been losing some time, but it hasn't been too much to the point where he's just losing time to Travis Barnes. As it's just very, very close. It's not going to be making much of a difference, but all it takes is just one mistake, and Seth Frazier will be there. But at the moment, Travis Barnes may have this thing locked up, as we have passed 150 laps. Tires have been sent to tire jail, and if the caution does come out, these guys are pretty much going to be stuck in whatever tires they've had. And let's go ahead and quickly. Actually, I don't even need to pull up a graphic. Everybody except for Rusty Webb, Eric Shaney, and Shane Quinn, who are multiple laps down, have all gone down pit road at about 23 laps ago. So they all have about 23 laps on their tires. So it's all pretty much even there for these guys. It all just matters on who's been doing what and who's been giving it to, putting too much wear on their tires, and who's been taking it nice and easy. It's 24 laps so far in this stint. This is when we start seeing some of these guys start making mistakes, start going wide, start getting loose, as track temperature staying around the same. So with it being constant right now compared to, I was a little fluctuating earlier, it could be a case of just whoever makes the least mistakes and whoever takes care of the tires the best. I'm going to go ahead and give a quick rundown here of the positions as Travis Barnes has been pretty much dominating this race since he's gotten the lead, and he's had to pass a couple of cars there to get the race lead, and depending on how cautions come, I think this race is pretty much going to be his, no problem. Seth Frazier currently in second place. It's actually been gaining a little bit these last couple laps. Not enough to be there, but we'll have to see how he's handling his vehicle and his tires as the laps go by, and just seeing what he can do. Third place is currently Nick Bellamy. Nick Bellamy's been having a nice, strong run, currently in third place. Ryan Gormley, rookie sensation, had to work his way up there a little bit, getting himself a lot of passing points, but he has not been in a position where he wants to be to win this race, or he doesn't have the car he needs to win this race. He has been in the position. He's been in first place a couple times and has lost the lead both times after a couple laps. So Ryan Gormley doesn't have the car he needs right now, but he does have a good enough car for a top 5 finish. Oh, here we go. Battle here for third place there is, we've been pretty much single file for the majority of this race, but now we've got a couple drivers here that we can actually battle here for a position, is not for third place, pardon me, this is battle for 5th. Cameron Doyle was able to get by, actually Scott Mann was able to get by Cameron Doyle, but has since gotten repassed back, and Cameron Doyle finds himself back in the correct position that he was in when we started this quick rundown. Scott Mann currently in 6th, and Matt Hackathorn in 7th, getting himself in a position to have a good run. He's been leading them, not running the full schedule this season, but getting himself a good finish always helps. Bart Hector Jr. currently 8th, and Dylan Huffines, he's had a mixed up, muddled up, shook up night as getting himself a good start to the race, but a couple mistakes, finds himself towards the back, and was able to recover very quickly. As I believe we have caught back up with Greg. Greg, are you there? All right.
I believe I'm back.
Yep, there he is, Greg. What have you've missed? Not much. We have gone past the 150 lap mark, but some of these guys are starting to catch back up with others. The tire is wearing, but I hope everything's working on your end. I'm not sure if you're able to get iRacing working, but at least you're back here with us.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I saw Skype just close itself out, and it would not allow me to reopen it, and unfortunately that's how I'm calling the race right now, is via the Skype video chat because of the issues with iRacing, and I was hoping that it would make it at that point another 60 laps or so, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. But back in it, and hopefully we make it to the end of the race. So again, I apologize for that. Unfortunately, sometimes technology just doesn't want to cooperate on certain days, but looks like Seth Frazier is beginning to reel back up on Travis Barnes here, Carlos, as he is closing in. Was that seem to be going on while I was gone? Was that closing in?
There was a little bit where Seth Frazier was actually he gained some time and then started to lose some, but now since you left, he's gained 0.3 of a second, and he's about 0.3 of a second behind the race lead. Is going on board. You can definitely see Travis Barnes just wiggling and worming around. Look how loose he gets exiting the corner. He was sliding there. You're not going to see that just from a different angle, but from here, you can clearly see just how loose he was, and I can only assume that Seth Frazier is pretty much the same level of looseness. So, wow, Greg, you're seeing that cannot be good for the tires.
No, and especially when the track temperature is as high as it has been. I'm not sure what the track temperature is at right this second, but not sure what it is. But with the track temp being high up like it is this afternoon here at Phoenix International Raceway, I'm not sure that that's good for the tires at all.
Yeah, and Greg, I hope I fixed that echo problem that you were hearing, but I'm not sure. We got to take a look from a different angle and see maybe if Seth Frazier is doing the same thing. We can't get a reading from the person behind Seth Frazier because the person behind Seth Frazier is 3 seconds behind as Travis Barnes just continues to get loose off the corners. 36 laps to go, and I don't think those laps. I don't think those tires are gonna make it 36 more laps, Greg.
No, I don't believe so either. I mean, Travis Barnes, he's giving it his all right now, and more power to him for going all out here, but I just don't see it lasting much longer. And here comes Frazier to the outside.
Yeah, well, he was trying to go to the outside. It looks like that one wasn't gonna happen there that time by. It may be possible that he is gonna go on the outside for that position, but time being, he's actually lost some attempting to do that as Seth Frazier just doing the best he can to be there at the end. I'm not sure if maybe he's fully giving it his all. 35 laps to go in this race, gonna end very quickly. As the next question is, should he go for it now or just hang behind Travis Barnes? Let Travis Barnes cook his tires a little bit more, because it's much easier to stay behind the driver than it is to actually be leading the race.
I would agree with that. So we'll see how this all unfolds. And don't look now, but there's pressure coming in the mirror for Seth Frazier as well, Carlos.
Nope, that's a lap down vehicle.
Oh, my
Yes.
apologies.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we mentioned a couple times, technical difficulties are plaguing our broadcast here on multiple ends. So it's not just Greg's end or my end. It's on both of our ends. Is unfortunately Greg is also running on low power mode, only being able to see exactly what you guys are seeing from us from a private Skype call. So hopefully we're going to get all this figured out before the next broadcast, but for the time being, we do apologize for all these issues. As taking a look and seeing who else, aside from the battle for the lead, everybody else is pretty much staying close. There's a small group of cars here for 5th place. Cameron Doyle, Scott Mann, and Matt Hackathorn. They've kind of been together pretty much this whole run. 31 laps left in this race, 32 laps left in this race, apologies. And this would actually be the closest battle on the racetrack, including the one for the race lead, as they're not that close for the lead. As this 5th place battle, it's been like that for a while, and all it's going to take is just one person to make one mistake, and they're going to get that position. Going on board, the number 99 is Seth Frazier one more time. Let's take a look at the steering angles on Seth Frazier's car, and hopefully we can see if we can compare. His caution is out. This is going to change a lot of things. Oh my God, Scott, man, somebody made a mistake, and they paid the price for it.
Cameron Doyle's involved as well.
Cameron Doyle, oh man. 90. The number 90 actually got airborne. That's going to be some slight undercarriage damage. Let's go on board. Let's go in the back again. See what happened. Okay, so the 90 got loose. The 9 car also got loose, and the 90 was going to be okay, but it seems like the 9 vehicle of Scott Mann overcorrected it up into the outside wall and into the 90. As you see, both of them get very loose. Unfortunately, though, the 9 was unable to actually get it back together. Overcorrected it into the 90 machine. Go on board here with the number 9, Scott Mann. Just a little bit too much flick of the wrist there, and goes on a wild ride. Cautions back on, and I believe he will tap out. And he will tap from that.
And that's unfortunate, Carlos, because honestly, there's arguments that both drivers could tap on that, and there's arguments that neither should tap on that. That was just a weird situation.
I don't think that there's an argument for the 90. He got loose, but he had nothing to do with that. He just got collected when the 9 overcorrected into the outside.
That's fair. So we'll see how this one unfolds, and leader Travis Barnes is gonna have to fend off Seth Frazier once again, Carlos. And
I don't expect
we've seen that's no easy task.
Yeah, apologies. Why don't you go ahead and see if we can talk to Travis Barnes? But I don't expect any of these guys to go down pit road, especially since you can't take tires unless they would need to take fuel. But I think they're all gonna be okay. Looks like maybe some people are faking it there to try to get Travis Barnes to go down pit road. But Greg, have you caught up with Travis? Alright, so it seems like Greg might still be trying to get Travis Barnes. Seeing what else under caution. Currently, it's Travis Barnes, Seth Frazier, Nick Bellamy, Ryan Gormley, Matt Hackathorn, Bart Hector Jr., Dylan Huffines, Casey Garber, Josh Robinson, and Brad Carpenter. Let's try that one more time. Greg, are you there?
Yeah, I finally was able to get Travis Barnes with me. Travis, Greg runs through ITV. You got a copy?
Sure.
Hey, Travis, you're leading the way here at Phoenix and closing stages of the race. You got the win at Irwindale earlier this year. You've been the dominant car here the second half. Do you like what you've got going here into the closing stages?
Yeah, I feel like the car's where it should be for this many laps on the tires. Seth and I are pretty even right now, so we'll see how this plays out.
All right, well, we're getting set to go back green here shortly. So, Travis, we're going to let you go real quick. But before we do, any shout-outs?
I'd like to thank Riverence Trout and Clear Springs Foods for sponsoring today's race.
All right, Travis, good luck the rest of the way.
Let me off.
1-2 green here. 27 laps to go in the Mission Valley Super Over 150. And Greg, it has been one fun race to watch. Unfortunately, though, it's been very stressful for you and I here internally with what we're trying to deal with here. And I hope you guys watching have had a great time watching this race. And I don't know. So far, what I'm enjoying is it was all that interesting pit strategy that we had to take a look. But we're going to get to what you thought about that, Greg, because we're about to go back to green.
Yeah, we'll be going back green here right off of turn number 4. Travis Barnes leading the field on the high side. Pace car going to duck off right here. Barnes, Frazier, Nick Bellamy up in the 3rd spot. What a great run he's had as well. Oh, Frazier taking a peek low as we go green. 26 laps to go when they reach the strike.
Yeah, going on into turn 1, Travis Barnes got a really good start, and Travis Barnes is usually the one that hasn't really had a chance to lead the race on a restart, doing a fantastic job of getting off by himself. And clearing this is going to be a great job, considering the fact that Travis has been passing these guys after a couple of laps on a restart. Maybe Seth Frazier going to try to do the same thing that Travis Barnes has done, but it's going to be interesting. Don't forget the fact that Travis Barnes pretty much spent those last 10 laps sliding it in and exiting the corners. Oh, caution's back out. Thomas O'Hara.
Caution's back out. I saw a red car earlier hit the wall right on the restart. Not sure if it was BJ Tidrick who was caught up in that with Thomas O'Hara or not.
Yep.
But you see right there the aftermath of it.
Going a different look.
Yeah, taking another look at it. Here we go. And, ooh, tough break.
Unfortunate. And these guys did not want to see that caution coming out one more time. We're going to go ahead and... Actually, you know what? Greg, why don't you go ahead and tell me what are your current thoughts about this race so far?
This race is shaping up to be the interesting finish, Carlos. We saw some long green flag runs, we saw some short green flag runs, but now we've seen a couple of short runs here, and I'm not sure I'm not sure how this is going to end. We have had quite the variety of things happen in this race, and I don't think we're done seeing the weirdness.
That's true. Hopefully we can get this race done pretty quickly. 24 laps to go, 23, I want to say 21 laps when we restart this race. It's going to go by very, very quick. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back for the continuation of this race.
Hi, I'm Brad Morrison with Mountain View Players. Tired of being cooped up all winter long? Tired of your old lady complaining about this and that? Let's give her something to complain about. Come on down and see us here at Mountain View Players. We got a great selection on side-by-sides, ATVs, and even a few snowmobiles. We also have products for the kids. We've also been known to do a deal over a good old bottle of tequila, or hell, even a simple coin flip. It's always easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission, so come see us, Mountain View Players.
Okay. Back live here at Phoenix International Raceway. 20 laps to go when Travis Barnes takes the green flag, which the pace car has ducked off. We're doing it now. Barnes with a big run on Seth Frazier, taking the lead here. And Bellamy to the inside of Frazier. Then we've got a battle for second between Frazier and Bellamy. And this is the second time we've seen the Neil Newberry scheme and the Shane Mitchell scheme go into battle, with Ryan Gormley right there in fourth. And how about that? Is that Matt Hackathorn in fifth spot, creeping up into the picture once again in that 084. Matt Hackathorn having a great run tonight, Carlos.
Yeah, Hackathorn's been having a fantastic run. Started up front due to a assuming bad qualifying effort. Not going to get as many passing points as he wanted, but considering the fact that he's been running up front pretty much this whole race, kind of tells me he's got the speed. Probably may have messed it up in qualifying, so a couple of missed points that he probably could have had, but running up front, it really does pay to finish in the top 5. Passing points help a lot, but passing points don't matter if you don't finish well.
For sure, and he may have a shot here at Ryan Gormley as he went lower through 3 and 4, and that allowed him to get a good run on Ryan Gormley in the 44s. Again, he goes high, whereas Gormley went high where Hackathorn went low. 18 laps to go for Travis Barnes, and honestly, if you're Travis Barnes right now, the way this race has gone for you, especially the second half, you really just got to keep your nose clean, and you should be sailing pretty smoothly for the rest of the race, unless Seth Frazier has something left in the tank that he hasn't shown us yet, because right now Travis Barnes has been the guy to beat right now in this 8 car.
It's entirely possible Travis Barnes, it's entirely possible that Seth Frazier may have one last thing there up in his sleeve, and that could be fresher tires. Now, they both have the same lap tires, 54 lap old tires, as long as these guys have gone on a single set of tires here tonight. But Travis Barnes, he's been slipping it around, moving it around the last long green flag run, so it's entirely possible maybe Travis may have no tires left to go once we hit like 10 or so laps. Oh, there! I'm not sure if you saw that there, Greg, but Seth Frazier got himself just a little bit too loose actually in the corner, and he's dropping back. He's losing a couple tenths. He was 3/10 of a second earlier in this since the last restart, but he's now falling back to 6/10 as when they were going side by side, Travis Barnes was an incredibly happy person. Of course, now they've spread out. Travis Barnes by himself, Seth Frazier by himself. Third place is actually has a position for has a battle for position of 3 other vehicles there, but I don't know, Greg. Who do you think has this right now?
Right now, Logic has to go with Travis Barnes. We'll see if Seth Frazier can recover. I'm not so sure anyone in this 3-car battle right here, Bellamy and Gormley and Hackathorn, I'm not so sure if they can get through this battle. I don't think they can get up there without a caution. I think if this stays green, it's down to Barnes and Frazier. I'm not so sure that these 3 have enough time if they can break away from the other 2, whoever it may be who does. I'm not so sure they have enough time to get back up there to Barnes.
I don't think these guys actually have anything for Barnes or for the win. These guys have pretty much been in the same position for the majority of the race. Nick Bellamy made an effort of trying to pass Seth Frazier. It didn't work, but he did get side by side as they're going side by side now here for 3rd place with Ryan Gormley. 13 laps to go, and this group, I think it's going to end up staying this group. I don't really think anybody else there has a chance of getting the race win. I think the only person would be Seth Frazier, and even Seth Frazier has been dropping like a rock. 0.8 of a second now behind the race lead. Comparing the lap times, that's a pretty big, okay, it's not that big of a difference. It's almost 0.1 of a second, but they add up, and it's already a 1 second lead. There's not much that Seth Frazier can do unless Travis Barnes starts making a couple mistakes.
And if you're Seth Frazier right now, you're hoping Travis Barnes starts making mistakes. And remember, Carlos, we did see Travis Barnes kind of sliding it around earlier on. I can't remember if he's taken tires since then, but we did see Travis Barnes sliding a lot earlier in the race. So wonder how used up are the tires on the number 8 car. I cannot remember if that was before the last pit stop or after the last pit stop, but it was Travis Barnes that we saw slipping and sliding around the track earlier.
Yeah, it was Travis Barnes, but it seems like maybe all this slowing down and could have maybe helped out his tire wear. But don't forget, we were getting those amazing views of Travis Barnes slipping around and seeing the corners from Seth Frazier. Unfortunately, though, we couldn't get those views from anybody else for Seth Frazier. So it's also entirely possible that Seth Frazier was doing the same exact thing and we just couldn't get it. And I'm Kathy. I have no issues with you getting on that pace car. You're going to have to talk to the management, though, because we're not in charge of who gets to have a ride in the pace car.
Closing stages of this one. Hackup has gotten around Gormley and is now going to work on Nick Bellamy. That's the second time I've said Newberry, just because that's Neil Newberry's car. And it also helps that I've been wearing Neil Newberry Memorial hoodies all week at work and bouncing around the ice rink all weekend, getting set for my hockey team's playoffs. I've been wearing the Neil Newberry hoodies. So just Neil Newberry has been on the mind lately, and seeing Nick Bellamy run the Neil Newberry paint scheme is awesome as he and Hackathorn almost come together, and that allows Gormley to get another run on Hackathorn, and Gormley able to slingshot around on the outside, so Gormley able to get the spot back.
You gotta be sure if you're gonna make a move, you have to make it count. We saw right there, we actually saw it a couple times earlier in this race from other drivers. That inside line might be the best. Is the best place to pass the outside line. It's possible, just harder to do. But just like a lot of tracks, if you go to the inside line where you're going side by side, you gotta commit. You've got to know you have to hold them, and you have to commit. If you don't, you're just gonna have to either two things: back up, check up, and let the guys go by you that you've probably already passed, and it took you a long time to pass, or two, you gotta hope that it's gonna hold on, and you hope that you don't take out the guy on the outside, because that's happened. That's gonna happen, and unfortunately, though, 6 laps to go. You wreck somebody, that's it for you. You may not be disqualified from the race, but you're pretty much gonna be all the way at the back. It's not gonna matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, your goal, if you're these guys, Bellamy, Gormley, Hackathorn, you want to get past the other two, but you just want to finish the race and finish it clean right now. And especially with a guy like Bardecker Jr. right in the points battle right behind you, you don't want to let him get up there and get around you, because that's points for him towards the points battle. And especially if you're Ryan Gormley, who's right in the mix of that battle with Hector. So if you're Ryan Gormley, honestly, I'd be a lot more worried about keeping that 42 car behind you than I would the 84 of Hackathorn. I mean, of course, you're going to want to keep as many points as you can, but if you're Ryan Gormley and you have to surrender a spot, I'd rather it be Hackathorn than Hector just because of the point situation.
Yeah, that's very true, and thank you so much, Aunt Kathy. It means a lot to us tonight. Normally, we like to be on our A game and give you guys the best show we can, but it's very hard to concentrate when you have tech things failing left and right. And I know Greg has been doing a fantastic job. During the commercial break, I told him I could not do half the things he's been doing. He is just watching it from a Skype call. He doesn't have the telemetry data that I do, and I'm struggling to keep up with him. But 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go very quickly. Greg, man, you are the highlight of this week.
I appreciate that, man, but hey, I couldn't be able to do this without you running the calls and running the cameras. There'd be no way I could do it without what you do. You're doing double duty here tonight as well. You're running the cameras and calling the race. That's not an easy job.
We just saw it right there. Well, thank you so much, Greg. We just saw it right there. Ryan Gormley tried to pass Nick Bellamy, who's been slowing both of these guys down on the inside. Wasn't able to do so. Matt Hackathorn has got a chance to go on the outside line. And with little help of Gormley getting loose, might get that spot as we saw the tides turn there. Last lap to go. This last section went by very fast. As Greg, I'll give you the honors of calling this last lap.
Travis Barnes through the dogleg for the final time has opened it up from Seth Frazier, and he is going to walk through turns 3 and 4 and take home his second win of the season. And no surprise, the way that this second half of the race went, Travis Barnes off of turn number 4, he wins the Northwest Tour Throwback at Phoenix.
Seth Frazier second place, Nick Bellamy third, Matt Hackathorn fourth, Ryan Gormley fifth. There are no changes there, no changes anywhere else. Bart Hector Jr., Casey Garber, Dylan Huffines, Isaiah Gill. I don't actually remember ever calling Isaiah's name. Isaiah, congratulations, good finish there. Josh Robinson, same as well as this last half of the race went by just a little. Actually, no, I would say probably about the same as the first half of the race. But Travis Barnes dominated once he got to the lead and held on to win that race.
What a dominating effort for Travis Barnes. Once he got the lead, it was almost impossible to get around the 8 car, and he is going to very deservingly celebrate a big win here at Phoenix. And there he goes, lighting it up here at Phoenix International Raceway. Smoke him if you got him, Travis, because you just won the Northwest Tour Throwback, and what a race it was.
What a fantastic job by Travis Barnes. Definitely made the fewest mistakes of the night. As I started to die right there. But fantastic job by Travis getting himself the win. Second win of the season, and looking to be a good points night. But an even better points night might be Seth Frazier. He was up 21 spots. As actually no, 21 spots. Wouldn't he be? No, didn't he start in the? Yeah, he won the previous race, so he had to start at the back. So that's a bunch of passing points for Seth Frazier.
What an incredible show.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a quick final commercial break before we go back and interview these top 3 drivers.
Welcome back to. Oh, sorry, Carlos. Welcome back
it's
to
okay.
Phoenix, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to Phoenix, everybody. Top 3 here with us in the 3Y TV studio, and I've caught up with third place, Nick Bellamy. Greg runs 3Y TV. You got a copy?
I do, Greg. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. I think I can ask you the same question because you had a great race up there, racing on the podium, racing up for the lead for a while, and then talk us through that battle at the end there with Gormley and Hackathorn because that was so much fun to watch.
Was it? It was a lot of pressure on me. Normally, those two were both faster than me, and with 50 to go, I'd kind of wave them by. But with 15 to go, I'd take the high groove because my car was just so tight off of 2, and I believe all of us were pretty tight. And when they'd get underneath me, they couldn't hold it stick, and so the other one would get the run on the outside. And I mean, the more times that happened, the more time it bought me, and that's about the only reason I ended up here was because of that move.
Well, Nick, it also looked great with you driving the Neil Newberry car, and I actually said it was Neil Newberry driving it a couple times just because I'm also wearing a Neil Newberry hooded sweatshirt tonight while I announce this race. What made you decide to run the Neil Newberry car and pay tribute to, of course, one of the legends of the Northwest? What was it about him that made you say, I'm going to run his car tonight?
Well, I don't know Neil Newberry, but I heard the legends that he would just spank everybody racing and occasionally be car lengths and car lengths ahead and wreck all by his own and just off the track. So I was hoping to bring the name to light for everybody watching, and I wish I brought her home in victory lane, but I'll take another PM. I came in 3rd last weekend as well.
All right, well, you worked your way through the field, and you got her did with the podium. And, Nick, another podium as we reach the home stretch of the season. But we're going to let you celebrate that 3rd. But who do you want to thank? Who's some shout-outs you got?
Oh, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Better Hall and QPM, Quinn's Property Management. I know Shane was looking for a better race tonight, and I'd just like to thank him for all the practice we put in together and just making each other better. I really had a blast tonight.
All right, 3rd place, Nick. Let me driving the Neil Newberry 04. Congratulations, Nick.
Take care, Greg.
And Carlos, you've up with a guy who drove the Shane Mitchell 99 to a 2nd place finish. Carlos is with Seth Frazier.
Yeah, Seth. Well, before we actually talk about this race, why don't you go ahead and talk about that throwback of yours?
Oh, we're all trying to pick schemes, and growing up in Wenatchee, there's a handful of cars that really come to mind when you go to a WVSO, and besides Garrett Evans, Shane Mitchell's probably the next one that comes to mind. I've always been a Shane Mitchell fan, so I thought it'd be cool to run an old car of his.
All right, well, you definitely got a night you wanted, a bunch of passing points on your end. I know you wanted to get that race win, but 2nd place finish is not going to be too bad. How was your night overall?
It went better than I was hoping for. It's so hard to pass here. I knew it was really crucial with the pit strategy to gain some spots there. So I tried to save a bunch of fuel early on and just kind of ride and conserve as much fuel as possible. That way, when we pit, with the way these cars take fuel, I could leapfrog as many cars as possible. And it worked out pretty good. I needed a really long run to have anything for Barnes. He was so much faster on a short run. I think if we would have went green before the caution happened, like on 170 or 176 or whatever, might have had a shot at him, but with it going on the quick runs, I had nothing for him. He was way too fast.
Yeah, you were definitely. We had some good angles of you watching Travis Barnes skidding off of those corners those last couple of laps before the caution did come out. We sorry, we really did think that you would have had a good shot at winning this race had the caution not come out. Unfortunately, that kind of went away with the caution did coming out. 2nd place finish though. Good points night once again, and next question is: are you looking forward to Lanier, the penultimate track in the championship?
Not at all. I don't like Lanier. It's probably one of my least favorite tracks in iRacing. If I can survive Lanier and have a shot at it, I think after tonight, I should have the points lead over Gormley. But if I can survive Lanier and be within a couple points of Ryan going into the finale, I'll be happy.
All right, good talk. Well, congratulations, Seth. But before we do let you go, how about them shout-outs?
Probably think Josh Robinson and Mission Valley Speedway for coming on and sponsoring tonight. And Joe's, and all the people that make this all possible. And a huge shout out to my buddy Mike Wood back in Middlesex, North Carolina. All these paint schemes are all running. Mike Wood painted by far the majority of them, and it takes a lot of time out of his day to make us all look good out here. So huge shout out to Mike Wood back there in North Carolina.
All right, thank you so much, Seth Frazier. We hope you have a fantastic night. I will see you here next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was your second place finisher, Seth Frazier. Did I call him Mike?
No, you call him Seth.
Okay, I thought I called him Mike. As I was just saying that last part, it felt really awkward. But speaking of a different name, Greg, you've caught up with the race winner, Travis Barnes.
Yeah, Travis Barnes, Greg runs 3YTV, got a copy.
Yes, I do.
All right, well, Travis, before we talk about the race, tell us about this paint scheme you ran, because it was a different look for the 8 car this weekend.
Yeah, I decided to switch it up. I got sponsored by a new sponsor here. I got Riverence Fish, Trout in Rochester, and I got Clear Springs Foods in Bull, Idaho. And so I decided to switch up the scheme.
Well, it looks good, and it definitely looks good in Vic Lane. And tell us about that race, because we were talking to you for a little bit there in the middle of the race, but that second half, you were the dominant car out there. And once you got out the lead, it was almost impossible to get back around you.
Yeah, the car felt great actually on the last little bit, and in the beginning, I was just passing cars, just biding my time, and it just seemed to work out at the end.
All right, Travis, tell us about the changing dynamics of that race, because when we've noticed it today more than we have in the past, when a cloud hit, it really cooled the track off quite a bit more than what we're used to seeing here. So with the ever-changing track conditions, how much was that hindering your efforts here in the closing stages of that race with the track consistently changing like that?
Oh, it was difficult because you couldn't gauge where the cloud was going to be. You'd have to look and adjust as you could on the fly. I know it was kind of affecting me. Seth was catching up when that cloud cover was over because I just had so much heat in the right rear. It wasn't cooling down anything. So definitely when we got back into the sun, it felt great, but in the clouds, it just felt super tight.
All right, well, you managed to hold on and pull away there at the end, and we're headed to Lanier here next up for the second to last race, the penultimate race. You excited to go to Lanier?
Oh yeah, for sure. That is one of my most favorite tracks on iRacing. It's the shortest track for oval on here, asphalt oval, I should say, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, well, we're going to let you go celebrate win number 2 on the season, but before we do, we know you got some shout-outs you want to give.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Riverence for coming on board, Clear Springs Foods as well. I'd like to thank my stepdad, my mom watching on the TV at home. She's really happy for me. I'd like to thank my uncle as well. He's watching at home. I'd like to thank all my family. They've been really big supporters. It's just awesome.
All right, Travis. Win number 2 on the year. You won Urbandale. You won Phoenix. Looks like you like NorthWest. Congratulations.
Good night, guys.
All right, and Carlos, that wraps it up here
No,
at
it
Phoenix.
doesn't.
But, man. Oh, we still got to do
Yeah, we got one last thing we got to take care of, Greg. You hold your horses, man, as we got the race results to go to. And, first place, Travis Barnes dominated that pretty much everything but the first quarter of the race. Seth Frazier coming up just a little bit short, but might have the points lead. Looking good for that. Third place, Nick Bellamy. Fourth place, 084, Matt Hackathorn. Ryan Gormley, rookie sensation, finishing 5th. Might have lost the points lead out of that. Bart Hector Jr. in 6th. Casey Garber in 7th. Dylan Huffines kind of having an up and down and down and up and up and down and up night, finishing in 8th with Isaiah Gill in 9th and Josh Robinson in 10th place.
Starting it off in 11th is Cameron Doyle in the number 90 with Adam Holm driving the, I guess you could say, the Dial 97 this evening, driving the Jason Jefferson car. And then, of course, Devin Petty, the Garrett Evans tribute. Thomas O'Hara, a top 15 run for him, along with Brad Carpenter, the Iowa winner, rounding out the top 15. Christopher Heim, Rusty Webb, Eric Cheney, Shane Quinn, very tough break for him after having such a strong car at the start of the race. And BJ Tidrick rounding out the top 20, Carlos.
Yeah, 21st, Scott Mann. 22nd, Sean John. How was it, Greg? Yon?
Sean Yan.
Sean Yan. Okay, apologies. Did not have the night he wanted. Casey Tillman also did not have, had a computer parts failure. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, that was Travis McKinney that had a computer parts failure. Casey Tillman, I'm not quite sure what happened with him, but I believe he had some crash damage, not resulting him in finishing this race early. But that will do it for us here tonight. We want to personally thank OCR TV for providing the wonderful graphics packages that you see here, and I also want to thank the fine folks at SimTV for providing the wonderful camera packages that we've been using here tonight. Greg, I want to thank you. You did a fantastic job tonight, and well, thank you everybody who tuned in to watch a very stressful broadcast on our part, but we hope it was enjoyable on your part. And well, any last words for you, Greg?
Thank you guys for bearing with us all night, and hopefully we go to Lanier. All these technical difficulties are worked out.
All right. We'll see you next week. See ya!